In this session, I'm going to discuss what is a web element. What is a web element in Selenium? What is a web element? Let's understand. When you open any web page in the browser, in this web page, you can check here. There are several elements like username you can enter here, you can enter password, and here you have one button where you can click. So anything that is present on the web page, we are calling as the web element. On the web page, you can see that this is a yes, no logo, yes, no some text, yes, no anything that is present in the web page, it's called as a web element. We are consider that element as a web element such as text box, button, link, etc. So elements are created using HTML. It is HTML stand for hypertext markup language. In the web page, actually, these are elements are created using HTML. So you can check here. Yes, no. If you click on the right, click on the page, and here you have option inspect. You can click on the inspect and go to the. If you want to check it, go to here this icon and click on any element. When you click on any element, now here you can check here. If you scroll down 1 minute, I will maximize this one. Okay. Now here you can check it. This is a which element. Okay. If you again select and click here, this is the input element. You can check here. So this element is created using HTML language. In HTML, there is a predefined tags are available. Predefined keywords, just like input keyword here, that is called as a tag. So these are elements created in a web page using HTML. So what is a web element? Web element is nothing, anything that are present in the web page is called as a web element. So let's here we understand what is a web element. Anything we can say anything. Web element means anything present on the web page is called as web element. It's called as a web element, such as a text box, button, link, etc. So elements are created using HTML. So it stands for hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. In HTML, predefined keywords. There are predefined keywords available. That keyword we can call as a tag. So just like in the HTML, yes, any page, yes, in the web page, any element, anything that are present in the web page is called as a element. HTML element, very important. HTML element contains following three components. Which three components it contains? First, it will contain tag. Second, it will contain attribute. Just little bit you need to take an idea. And third element is contain text. Okay, let's understand. What is a tag, attribute? Go to your browser and you can right click on your browser and you can inspect your browser. Once you click on inspect, you can check here. You are able to see our element. If you want to check any element, here you can click on this icon and move to your cursor on that element and click on that. Now it will show that HTML code. So here you can check. So HTML element contains three things. One is the tag. So here we have created one input element. This is a tag name. This is a tag name. And now tag can have attribute. Here you can check input tag have multiple attribute like placeholder, type attribute, type is an attribute, ID attribute, name attribute. So name attribute value something, yes or no? Value attribute. So attribute can have a multiple value. And now you can check it. Tag can have a HTML element can have a text also. Okay, let's check here. Suppose I want to see swag labs. Yeah, we want to see this. Okay. You can check here. You can expand this div tag. Now here you can check here. Here we have one element, H4 element. This is H4. This element is started, and this is a closing tag. Between opening and closing tag, whatever content we are writing, that is called as a text for the tag. This is a text that you are using. Accepted username are. Yes, you know, this is a text. So that is called as a text. So one thing you have to remember, HTML element, yes, no, contains three components: tag, attributes, and text. HTML element can have three things, yes, no, tag, attributes, and text. What is that tag? Tags actually anything, yes, no, anything. You can say anything that are present after the less than symbol. Less than symbol. Less than symbol, that is called as a tag name. Just like open less than symbol, and then we are writing tag name. This is a tag name P. This is the opening tag, and then you can close the tag. This is a closing tag. So tag can be anything, yes or no? So in HTML, there are a predefined tag. And what is attribute? Anything, yes or no, we can say anything present after the tag till the greater than symbol, we can say till the greater than symbol, we can call as a attribute. Just like I have created one tag with name A is anchor tag. This is open tag and this is a closing tag. Now your tag is closed, but in opening tag, yes, no. So after tag name, you can press a space, and here we write one attribute name like href, and here you can give some value within double quote like www.google.com. And this is known as attribute. This is the href is an attribute of which tag? Anchor tag, A tag. Now third thing, it contains text. What is a text? So we can say text anything sorry, anything present after the greater than symbol till the end of the tag is called as a content. Just like I have one tag P tag. This is open tag and this is a closing tag. So in simple terms, we can say between opening and closing tag, whatever you are writing, that is called is a text. This is a text. This is called as a text. So here, if you talk about the web element in the web page, web element means anything that are present in the web page, that is called as a web element. Web element can be created using HTML. HTML, in HTML we are using tag, and that is called HTML element. HTML element contains three things: tag, attribute, and text. Tag means anything that are present less than, after the less than symbol is called tag. And HTML element can have attribute just like the key value pair, and text between opening and closing tag, whatever content we are writing, that is called as a text for a tag. So when you load one page, in this web page, suppose I want to find any HTML element, how we can find? How we can identify any element in the web page? So this is a web element. Each HTML element is called as a web element. So on the web page, anything that are present on the web page, we are calling as a web element. Now we need to identify those web elements. Suppose I want to identify any element like username, this text field. How we can identify? How we can identify web element on the web page? To identify the web element on the web page, we are using one concept, locators. Selenium will provide one concept, locator. So locators are used to identify the web element. So if you want to identify the web element, so you can identify the web element by using locators. So let's understand what is a locators. So here now we understand what is locators. What is a locators? Locators, we can say, is nothing. Actually, you have a web element. Now we need to identify those web elements on a web page. How we can identify any web element on a web page? Any particular element that we want to identify on the web page, how we can identify? For that, we are using the concept as a locator. Locators came into the picture to identify a web element. So we can say here locators are used to identify the web element. You can say web element. Locators are used to identify a web element. So we can use the concept of locator to identify a web element on the web page. So we have different type of locator. So in Selenium, there are different type of locator, and all of them have static method. Using that static method, we have one static method by. Using that static method, we can identify. So locators here we need to you understand first. Locators actually helps to identify web elements that are present in your web page. Using locators, we can identify the web element that are present in your web page. Okay, so how we can identify and how we can use locators? So let's say here in Selenium, there are basically 8 types are locators. And all these locators, all of them, we can say all of them are static method. In we have one class, by class. Which class? By class. This is a state class. So this is a one by class we have in Selenium to identify a web element in a web page. So all the method, actually whatever method available in by class, all the method takes a string argument. All method take as a string as an argument, and it returns what returns? It returns an object of type and return an object of type by. Which type object return? It return by type object. By the class in the Selenium. In this by class, we have static method, and all this method, actually whatever method available in this class, this method will take an string argument and return an object of by type. So the by object, you can say the by object is used as input argument for the find element. What the find element method? First we understand by, how we can use by a method. Okay, so go to the browser and check here. So if you want to find any element, that are available in this web page, you can locate an element using locators. For that, Selenium will provide one class by class. So Selenium will provide different type locators. So we have different 8 types locators. So we have one class by. Okay, by class. Suppose if you want to identify an element, any web element using their ID. So here we have one locator by.id. This is a static method. And now this static method, id just by.id is a static method. This static method will take as a string argument. And this string argument, here you can pass that id of that element that you want to locate. So suppose I pass the id like username here. So now what it return? It will return one object which type by type. You can store into one variable. So in this way you can locate an element. Okay, let's check here. So Selenium will provide different type of locator. So to locate an element, Selenium will provide one class by class type. So check here the list of Selenium locators. List of Selenium locators. So by the class, in this by class we have a static method by.tag name. If you want to locate an element by using that tag name, you have method by.tag name. If you want to locate an element by using their id, so you can use by.id. If you want to locate an element by using their name, so you can use by.name method. Yes or no? Name is yes no. And then if you want to locate an element by using class name, yes no, you have one method class name. If you want to locate an element by using link test, so you have by.link test. And if you want to locate an element by using their partial link test, so you can use partial link test locator. If you want to locate element by using CSS selector, so by dot here we have CSS selector. And if you want to locate an element by using XPath, so what is XPath we will discuss later on. So we have one locator XPath. So these are locators that are available. So by the class, in this by class, you can say these are static method. Static method you can call by using class name. What is the class name? By. What is the method name? Tag name. All of them are static method by class, and all the method take string argument. What it will take? It will take string argument and return which type object? It return by type object. Which type? By type. So by dot and then locator. You can use any one of the locators by which you want to locate an element. It will return the reference of that element. And now you want to find that element by using that reference. So WebDriver has one method, find element method. WebDriver has one method, find element method. So by object is used, we can say as an input argument for find element method. For find element method, you can use as an input argument. So find element method is available in Selenium WebDriver. So this method what return? Return type a return type of find element method is web element. Is which type? Web element. Is web element. Web element used to represent each element that are available in a web page. Any element that you can represent in Selenium using web element that are available on the web page. So web element is nothing, it is an interface. Yes or no? So you can represent any element that are available on the web page using web element. So let's now we are try to write one script to locate an element by using tag name. So let's now we open our Eclipse IDE. Okay, so now here we try to create one test class. So go to the testing package, and now here I'm going to create new class. Go to the new class, and here you can write class name like tag tester. Okay, just like I'm at tag tester. So now we have extend this class, extend base test class, base test class, base test class. Now under that test class, we define method public static void main. Sorry, not public. Okay, we define test method. Sorry, public void tag test. Let's we define one tag test method. Okay, this is a test case. So we have need to annotate at the rate test annotation. Now go to the SRC main resources. Go to the config under config.properties. So let's we remove this URL. So we open saucerdemo.com and go back our tag tester. So in the tag tester, in this tester, so what we want to do, this is our web page. I want to locate this web element. Which web element? This text field. So you can locate an element using the tag name. Yes, no? So what the tag name? Tag name is the input. You can check select that, click here, and what the tag name for this element? Input. So now it will try to locate an element using tag name. Here you can check here. What the tag name? Input. So here one element is available with that tag name. Multiple element is available with tag name. Yes or no? You can check it. This is also input element. You can check it. This is also input element. So it will return one element. Here it will return multiple element. It can be written multiple element. So now just check here how we can locate an element. So to locate an element, we are using by. Yes, no, by class. By, you can check it by. In this by, you can check what is the by. By is the mechanism, yes, no, to use to locate element within a document. So using this mechanism, we can locate an element in your document. So by and dot, you can use which selector? Tag name selector. You can check it. This is tag name is a method, and this method will take which type parameter? String tag. You can pass the tag name in the form of string, just double quote within double quote. What is the tag name? Input. So it will locate an element, yes, no, with input tag. So now what it return? It return one by, yes, no. So you by tab variable, you can store one by tab variable. Now this will contain the reference all the element which has tag name input. Now, if you want to locate those elements, so in WebDriver, we have WebDriver dot, we have method find element method. Right? Find element, you can check here. If using by, if you are locating one element, you can check here. You can use this method. If by method locating multiple element, it can return list of web element. Okay, first I will locate at a time one element. So go back to your browser and check once again in your URL in your web page. So suppose I want to locate this element. This is also heading, and now I want to locate this element. So under that, this is a div. Okay, just I'm opening. Suppose I want to locate, suppose this element. This is a H4 element, heading tag H4 element. So how, go back. I want to locate which element? I want to locate element with tag name H4. Now we want to find out. So WebDriver has one method, find element method, and you can pass that locator. So here we have locator by, yes, no. Now find element method, what does? Find element, find the first web element, yes, no. It will find that web element by specifying the given locator. So it will return what return? It will return that web element. It returns web element. So you can store in one variable, web element equal to web element. Now once you get the web element, yes, you know, on that web element, you can perform any action, whatever action you want to perform. Suppose I want to perform what action? I want to get the text. I want to get the text of that element. So this web element, what contain text? Yes, no, I want to retrieve that text. So just call the text method. And now text method, what return? Return the text of that web element. So string. Now let's be store in one variable, text. And now we print that. And first check what text you are gotten. System.out.println. Let's just print the text. So here we are locating a web element. How we can locate web element? Using locator. So how you can use locator? Selenium will provide one class by, and in by class we have several static methods. So we can locate an element using different locator. So here we are locating element by using tag name. So I am going to locate which element whose tag name is H4. And once we get the locator, and then we try to find that element by the specify locator. And now it returned that web element. Once we get the web element, now this web element actually what does? This web element representing which text? This web element representing that web element. Go to the browser and you can check here. Suppose once you write this code, so here you got a web element, and now this web element is representing which web element? This web element representing that element. So now in your script, you can perform operation on that web element using that web element. So what you want to retrieve? I want to retrieve the text of that web element. Let's try to run this test case and check the output. Now I'm running the test case and check the output. Now you can check here. Okay, test case is executed successfully. Test case is passed. And now you can check what is the text. The text is accepted users names are. This is a text for your web element. Yes, no. You are retrieve the text for that web element. So in this way, you can find any web element. So just understand, just we recap all those concepts what we have discussed. So what is a web element? Web element is nothing, anything that are present on the web page, that is called web element. And how we can identify those elements on a web page? Using locators. What is a locator? Locators are used to identify a web element on the web page. So we have different type of locators. We have ID locators, tag name locators, and class locator, name locator, link test locator, partial link test locator, CSS locator, XPath locator. So Selenium will provide one class by. By class contains several static methods based on locator. Based on which locator you want to identify an element, that locator you can use, and this static method will take argument in the form of string. And once you locate an element, then you can find a web element by using find element method of a WebDriver. WebDriver has one method find element. WebDriver has one method find element method. Find element method used to find a web element by specify given locator. So you can write this syntax in one line also. In this way, WebDriver, you can check here, WebDriver, we have WebDriver, suppose WebDriver dot find element method. Find element method, what take, it will take locator. You can pass locator directly also by that. Suppose we are using tag name. What the tag name? Tag name here we specify h4, suppose h4 tag. Now what it will return? It will return that web element. So you can store in one variable. Which type variable we need to take? Web element. So that web element representing that element, web element that are available on the web page whose tag name is h4. So now here we are using the locator by the tag name. This locator return the reference of that element, and find element will find that web element and will store into variable. And now once you get the web element, on that web element you can perform any action that you want. So I hope it's clear what is a web element, what is a locator. Thank you.